Hello, Chris here, and welcome to my Onda V919 SCH review. So this is the one, the refresh, that has the Atom Cherry Trail in it. It's the X5 Z8300, 4GB RAM, 64GB eMMC, and it runs Android 5.1 and Windows 10. So the tablet looks a little different from all the other Retina tablets you see out there, like the T-Class ones. For example, the X98 Plus right here, which has the all white around it, around the screen. So Onda's gone for a different look with the gold. You either love it or you hate it. I personally don't particularly like it. I think we could have done without the black bezels around there. Could have just gone all gold maybe on the front. It has a kind of an HTC look to it. So we've got a Windows logo there on the front, as you can see. And if we have a look at the bottom, there are a couple of torque screws here holding things together. Well, keeping the back shell together and holding it in nice and tight there, but it is made out of plastic, this bottom. And on the back here we do have a loudspeaker, just the single speaker, so there are no two speakers, no dual speakers there, so no stereo separation. The speaker sounds okay, and it is louder than some of the tablets I have heard recently, but of course there is no bass. It's mostly just treble that comes out of this thing. Doesn't sound particularly wonderful. We move around to the back here. This is an alloy backing with a gold paint. You can see that the color doesn't actually match there between the plastics and the metal. So this little flap here is where the micro SD card slot is. I'm not a fan of these flaps here because I remember the Onda V919 I think it was. This actually felt a bit on me and it became a bit of a problem. But that's where your micro SD card slot goes. And we have a volume up and down, rocker there, power on button, 2 megapixel rear facing camera, no autofocus, fixed focused unit, and again all plastic along the top. But that's normal because we do have the wireless antenna around here that we need for reception. So that's why they use plastic normally around that area like they do on the T-Class there. Now here we have the microphone, micro HDMI output, our micro USB 2 port, and the 3.5mm headphone jack. And around this outer edge here, this black is actually plastic. That's pretty much the same on all of the tablets. Now it looks like it is bigger in terms of bezels than the T-Class X98 Plus here, but it actually isn't. It's just the way it looks because of that border that they've used, because I've measured it. So we have a look on the side here. If we go from the edge to where the actual screen starts, that's about 10mm, and you find it's more or less the same on the Onda. The same with the top and bottom bezels, although they probably look maybe even actually larger on the T-Class model here because of the white. You see that's around 20mm, and the same again, 20mm. So it's just creating a bit of an illusion there between both of them, and the thickness is the same really as well. Oh, and the front cam is a 2 megapixel unit there. So that's enough of the T-Class there because this isn't its review. So first off, I will start in Android and show you the screen to start with. This is maximum brightness, and it comes in around 360 nits of brightness, which isn't bad and around what the Retina tablets can do, the displays they can do. So it's a nice resolution. We all know this screen now, it's very common. First came out, of course, on the Apples, the iPads, but now it's all in all of the Chinese tablets. So 4:3 ratio, very nice screen, very sharp. Now the ROM is quite a light ROM. It is fast, and performance of the ROM isn't too bad. Now I'm about to say there's no Play Store, and you'll see, hang on, what's that there? Okay, I've been trying to install Play Store with no luck. I have tried everything. I've wasted so much time on this. The ROM doesn't come with Google Play installed. No matter what I do, I can't get it to work. It always just keeps crashing on me. I think there's something wrong with the build prop. I don't have time to go messing into that and discover why it's not working. So that has limited me somewhat to what I can install, and some games like Mortal Kombat here want... Okay, we've got Google Play Games, but then Google Play Services doesn't work, so there's a lot of games that I can't actually run and show you. So what I'm going to show you in Android is going to be quite limited there. Now, there comes with a few bloat applications on here. There's one here called Top Apps. You can't actually uninstall them for some reason, which is a little annoying. So you go to drag in... Oh, hang on. Can't uninstall that. So they have forced you to use some of their bloatware ones, which now and then will pop up with notifications, which is a little bit annoying. And now and then you'll hear the beep notification sound, and it comes up there with Chinese saying that some new top game's been released and whatnot. That happens with that application, and also the Games app, which... Where is it? There we go, Game Center, that's another one. And the Account Center as well cannot be uninstalled. So that is annoying. Apart from that, I mean, it performs well. Auto rotation is working. There is an issue with wireless. So wireless now and then is a bit of a problem for me, because I noticed that if you leave the tablet a while and turn the screen off, so it goes into, I think, maybe into a deep sleep there, you come out of it, it just doesn't seem to want to turn on the wireless whatsoever. So that's a bit of a problem there. A couple of things as well that I have seen, that we don't have any over-the-air update system, which is unusual. Now, normally the Cubes, the Teclas, the Chewies, they have an OTA system built into it. So if you go into About Tablet, just above here, normally they would say wireless update. And that is good, because what Cube has recently done, if they've pushed out an update, it actually gives you Google Play, which is really good. But we don't have it. So it's running Android 5.1, and we have free space, if I can remember correctly. Well, I've installed a couple of things. I think it turned out to be about 14 gigabytes, but it's in the unboxing video. And overall, I mean, it's not a bad ROM at all compared to Teclas ROMs. I think are worse. The launcher they use is just horrible, but this one is okay. And I'm fine with it. Just the fact that we don't have Play Store here in the wireless issue. Now, if we do slide down the notification menu at the top there, we do have a button there to switch over the operating system. Unfortunately, I missed that in the unboxing, but there it is. So that is good. So I'm just going to switch over now into Windows and run through... Oops, almost forgot the benchmarks that I did run in Android. Okay. So starting out with Antutu 6.0.4, quite a good score. I mean, almost 60,000. I saw 62,000, I think it was, on the Cube iWork 10 Ultimate. Not a bad score considering the hardware that we have. Single channel RAM, 4 gigabytes. And this is the iStorm Stream score for those that want to compare that maybe to your existing Bay Trail tablet. iStorm Unlimited, not a bad score. Sometimes we get around 20,000, 26,000 on the Atom X7s. Slingshot, slightly lower than some of the scores I have seen, but all in all, not actually a bad score there. So those are the only benchmarks that I was able to install and run without wasting too much time just trying to hunt everything down. So I will now go over and switch over into Windows and run through some benchmarks there. Right, so now over in Windows, this is the maximum brightness, which is a little bit duller than Android for some reason. It must be something to do with the Intel drivers. Now, speaking of which, I have actually disabled the display power saving setting that Intel does have enabled normally by default on these Cherry Trails. That does increase the brightness a few notches at least. That should both of them... Oh, actually, no, it's enabled for some reason. Had that disabled. So that hopefully should bring the screen up a little bit more. During all my benchmarks, though, I did have that definitely disabled. And overall, I mean, the tablet performs very similar to that of the X98 Plus from Teclas. There's not much of a difference in terms of performance between them that I can tell. Now I did do the normal benchmarks again, but the results you'll see here are actually slightly less than Android, and that is normal. For some reason Android always seems to perform a little bit better. So that's the iStorm Unlimited score. PC Mark. And the Geekbench 3 score. iStorm Unlimited again for some reason. Ah, that's right, I had to retest it because I got quite a low score there. iStorm 1.2. And CloudGate actually stat scores higher than the one in Android. So all in all, it performs just like other Atom X5 Z8300s. Nothing special, nothing changed there. Now the internal storage, you'll be happy to know that Onda did use a proper brand. They haven't gone with an N card or BWin drive. So we get decent speeds there. Those are fine. Particularly good is the 4K write speed there for a 4.5.1 spec E. You can see that is quite good. Now I'll run through the device manager. We do have actually different hardware on board than what we normally see in terms of wireless. Normally we always, literally 95% of the time, we get the Realtek cards, right? But this time I got the Broadcom card and I'm actually not at all happy with it. So we have the Broadcom one in there. It's got a lot of problems. I've been having huge issues with limited connection. So you get a little asterisk show up and you've got no connection. Turn off the wireless, turn it back on again, won't find the network, can't connect. You have to restart the tablet. And that's where we'll have another problem that I will show you in this video. A big problem. Every time I try to shut down or restart, it will end in a blue screen. The tablet will just lock up and restart itself. So you can't actually restart or shut down the tablet properly within Windows. You can in Android, but you can't with Windows. So that's a rather major problem with this tablet. I know a lot of you think, I've had some comments before, someone also sent me an email, I think from the Onda forums. I won't mention any names, but they think I am anti-Onda. I try not to be anti-Onda, but honestly, look at all the Ondas I have reviewed. Most of them have had problems, literally all of them, apart from their mini PCs. But even then I've run into problems. So Onda, quality control, build quality, problems like this seem to always crop up, and it's not because I'm anti-Onda. I'm not trying to be anti-Onda, but it's hard not to be when every single tablet I get from them has these kind of issues. Anyway, I will move on from that and focus on another positive here, and that is the temperatures. So temperatures are good. It doesn't have any thermal throttling for an Atom. Now normally they get up to 85 degrees, but just recently I've seen the fact that manufacturers are doing something about the temperatures. They are now using thermal pads to transfer heat away from the chipset, normally onto the rare metal housings of tablets if they do have a metal case. This one does, and I think, I haven't opened this up, so I'm just speculating here, I assume that they have actually used a thermal pad to help transfer some of the heat away from the tablet. And it does get quite warm running benchmarks, but it's not throttling. That is the main thing there. Alright, now the battery life, I haven't had a good chance to actually get a real good idea of that, but this is off at the moment. Okay, you're not going to get 8 hours. 5 hours in Android approximately, 5 to 6 hours in Windows, more or less. One of the kind of golden rules, at least with the Cherry Trails, is normally you look at your battery capacity. Now this has a 7,000 milliamp hour battery. Normally 1 hour to every 1,000 milliamps. So we should, okay, in theory, get 7 hours, but it's not quite that right. Normally it's about 40 minutes. It depends on what you're doing, of course, the screen brightness. Gaming, you're only going to get about 3 hours out of this thing. These are all just estimates, okay? Sorry, I don't have enough time, haven't had enough time to get an exact figure on this one because I've been running benchmarks and doing other things that isn't considered like normal kind of use to get a general use figure. So around 5 hours and a half, I think, about the best. Okay, so the other thing is, well, the benchmarks, they've all been fine. I won't cover any gaming in this video. That'll be in another video, unfortunately. Sorry, because it's just going to be too long, and I don't have time at the moment to do that. But all in all, that problem, I'm going to demonstrate it to you now when I try to restart what happens. And it's a big issue. Now, it could be my unit. I could have got a bad unit. Okay, so please, Onda fans out there, don't send me your emails, okay? I'm just stating the facts here. I'm not trying to hate your favorite product. So I will try now to shut down. And it's going to get stuck. So I will actually bring in my Galaxy S7 here and just see if I can put the timer on. Because I will not let this video run the whole time. And I'll quickly just go into the timer. Sorry, stopwatch is what I want. Okay, so we'll leave this here. And I will edit the video, of course. Okay, so it's now 4.5 minutes. It still won't shut down. This goes on, I think, actually for about 10-15 minutes before it always ends in a blue screen. So there is definitely some... Oh, there we go. Actually, that's a bit earlier. So this is what happens. And it always gets this error. Now, I know the wise thing to do would be do a factory reset. In fact, that's what I did. And this is still continuing to happen. So there's something wrong with the image they're using. It did activate all fine, of course. So at least this unit's faulty, but honestly I can't really recommend this unless, of course, Onda's going to fix this problem. I think the build quality of the tablet is okay. The Tech Last, I think, is slightly better because it just has more metal on it. Not that I'm trying to push the Tech Last product or anything. And there we have it. So it will then continue to reboot into Windows again. So if you left it thinking you'd shut it down, it'll keep doing this loop every time you try to restart it as well. So that is for me, is major there. The only way to power it off now for me is to have to go into Android and then turn it off, which is very frustrating if you only just want to be using Windows. Okay, so thank you for watching this review. Sorry about the lack of gaming in this. I will try and come up with another video later on and go through a bit of gaming on that if people really want to see that. But that's all it is for now. If you are celebrating Easter, enjoy your Easter break and hopefully catch you back in the channel. Bye for now.